So for today, actually a few things to go through. But first about today's class, because we canceled the class because the snow, and today I will help you to set up the environment so it's more likely a lab. So you have different options for doing it. First thing is like we can use the AWS EC2. So it's the cloud service like providing holding the cloud server. So you can try to create an account, and then I let you have a chance like knowing how to create a Linux system, like totally using a command line to handle it. And then because one thing we going to use on this Linux system. So in the cybersecurity, we sometimes will talk about the permission privilege. Okay, how to sometimes if you because in the lecture you see we have some part about the vocabularies. Okay, later we'll cover what's the network, what's the port, and then all these things. Okay, so instead of just like go through the lectures, like remember the keywords, I wish like really you can touch something, like try something and see, okay, so what's the file permissions, and then later maybe for the encryption things. So we do have some practice, okay, instead of just go through the PowerPoint. For the AWS, right here, let me open it. Let me open the link. Because for AWS, if you create an account, they have a 1 year free service. But in the beginning, when you create an account, they ask you to enter the maybe credit card, debit card information. So if you're not able to do it in this moment, you can do it later. Or there's one alternative I can show you later. Okay, so I make the screenshot like all the steps, so you can like create all the accounts. So I'm not really telling you, okay, what the information you need to enter to create an account. I think it's pretty straightforward. So mainly when you create the account, here are several options can give you. You can see on the top right corner. So this one you can see the location. Because they have a distributed server location, we call the warehouse or data center. You can choose either maybe the east side will be like Ohio, or maybe Virginia, like anywhere. Okay, but of course, like closer will be access faster. But for the free version, you have lots of limitation. Okay, so and we always have the minimum access. Okay, and after you create, and remember, go to search computer and then choose EC2. EC2 is the platform you're going to use, and after you choose the EC2, then you can access like to set the launch the instance. And we are going to create a copy. The Linux system is using the Ubuntu, like as an example. So have you ever do you know what's Ubuntu? Okay, you have idea. Okay, then you're good. Or have you ever tried to use a command line to control it? Okay, so you are pretty familiar with these things. Okay, so will you try to use it in other class? No, but you just know it.
We haven't used it maybe for one of it was for the organization.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so if you're familiar this this is the one of the option, because maybe I sometimes give you something, or like maybe the assignment later I give you, so I need to like something you need to work on the Linux system, like access, permission, copyright, because that's we're going to cover. Yep.
Reduce the virtual machine.
Yes, yeah, I'm going to mention this part. Okay. Well, this one is free, and in case I don't know how much you are interested or you want to take this chance, let's quit. You provide 1 year.
I'm sorry, can I get that?
Yes, you okay, yeah. No problem. Yeah. Okay. So if you are maybe in the future, if you want to work as a software engineer, maybe working on some like cloud service, then probably you will use this like let's say the AWS or other company like DigitalOcean, if you heard about this brand. So they offer the we call the nodes. You can based on your needs, like maybe they will different, maybe 2 CPU, 4 CPU, or sometimes with the really powerful. Maybe if you want to train your AI model, but you don't have your display card, then you can use their service like to train your AI model. So you can access online. And just remember, the main important things like when for cybersecurity or reason why we need to do it, for SSH, like when we connect to your server, you remember, okay, we always recommend when you create the server, we always like access a root and without the password, or sometimes when you set the password, but that one's with the lowest security, because root we have we call the super admin or the highest right to access to your files. Okay, so if you don't create a new user account or set like maybe other access to maybe other application, then if some attacker like access to your server, then they can easily to modify, or they can steal your data or some sensitive, or they can delete your database. Then you got trouble, right? So pretty common way we access to the server, we are using the SX, the key. Okay, so this one we will cover later, is talk about what's the later we'll talk about what's the symmetric, asymmetric encryption. And one of the asymmetric, we are using the key RSA. So here's the option. So when you create the EC2 instance, and then remember to set up the RSA to get the key, private key. So once you connect it to your instance server, then you can use this key. So we replace it instead using your password. Okay. And also when you connect it, remember to allow several things. One is your when you need to allow is open the port. Okay, so one is like outbound, inbound. So you need to allow the open SSH and also the HTTP. So after we access it to your Ubuntu server, then I will show more details. And also, when you upload the permission, maybe with the path, then you can change it. If you download the key, let's say I have something, then if you're using the Windows, it's easier, the command line, or Mac too. So we need to change it. 400. So later I will teach you. So what's the 400 meaning? Okay. It's the file permission. 400 is means like read only. So if you're familiar with this thing, that is pretty easy, like basic. Later you have some one of assignment you're going to do this part. Okay. So okay, if I give certain situation, read, write, and execute. So what are the symbolic numeric meaning? Okay, if you're familiar, then it's really easy. Okay, pretty straightforward. And we're setting it. And what I need to do, SSH is the connection. And then with your key, the one I told you right here to create a key, and then your EC2 server, the DNS IPv4 address is a DNS domain name. I'm not using this one. Before I try to share to some students, but for security things. Because when we study cybersecurity, especially here, the campus, like here they're pretty sensitive, like to like access rights, like especially when you're learning computer science. Okay, so if something access to this environment, they kind of like say ask for permission. Okay, so ethically, just like lots of things like for education purpose, try not to install any like malware as the DDoS, some attacker. Okay, I will tell you what the concept. Okay, maybe somehow I will share some source code, but for education purpose, like it is not possible to really attack, but try not to do that. And after you able to connect to the server side, then I would say that step one is complete. Okay. And here is the AWS EC2. But you say, okay, because you ask, can I use the VM? Of course, if you don't want to create on it. So maybe how many of you have the VM? Have you? Okay, you have VM. Okay. So if you do have VM, yes, you feel free to use the VM. Okay, so you can download the VM ISO file. So because Ubuntu is a free version, so we can download it online, and they do have desktop version and server version. Okay, I would recommend using the server because it kind of like the size is less. I think it's 2.6 gigabytes. Okay, so we can put it here. Okay, into server. Okay. You can choose the LTS. LTS, it means the long-term support. That means like the community and package they guarantee, okay, with more support. But if you want to get the latest version, of course, you can get the 24.10. Then download it. So this one is called the server version. Server version, that means it's a similar image we are using for the EC2. Okay. But of course, we need to install the update other package we're going to use. And if you say, okay, I really need a GUI, that means that GUI look like using as a Windows, then you can switch it to a desktop version. Okay. So you see the file size is slightly bigger, so it's double of it. Okay. You see like with the GUI and without the GUI, so it covers like half of it. And just be careful if, let me see how many using the M series. If you're using an Apple, so if you're using Apple and M series, the Apple Silicon computer, remember to use the ARM version. Okay, so right here you will see this one desktop server, and most of the time they will be the 64 bit the patterns. But if you need to change it, so remember to switch it to, need to find it. Server like okay. Okay, so here will be the for ARM. So just be careful if to my let's say I'm using the M4. Okay, so I need to install the version is called the ARM. Okay, try not to install the like x24. So here, otherwise you'll pop out, it doesn't support it. So be careful of it. And for the installation, you just need to do like create a new copy, and then once you download the file, so right here, so just like drag the ISO file and then just click on contribute. Remember, they always take around 20 gigabyte space from your original copy. So make sure and guarantee you do have enough storage for your VM. Okay. One thing you know, let's say if you have only 25 gigabytes, then your computer's performance will getting really slow because they will use your SSD storage for sometimes wrapping files, and then this one is like from other subject. Okay, but it will cause your computer really slow if you don't have enough storage. Okay, so if you did experience like sometimes why my computer like getting slower, one of the reason because your storage it's like out of storage. Maybe you have 1 terabyte, but you almost use up like 950 gigabytes. Then your computer will get really slow. Okay, something not related to cybersecurity, but this one about a VM. Okay, and but it takes some time to install it, so I will let you to do it. And mainly, I will talk about that. After you're able to create the image on maybe on EC2 or using VM, create the Linux system. And as a first assignment, I already upload to the D2L. I give some instruction, and I will give you also the command right here. So actually, I'm not asking you like study by yourself. So I'll give all the examples. So you can just like make me just like change the parameters, change the name, and then let you see. As a first step, because I asked you to try to use the create user, and then how to create the files. And you will see mainly there are two command. One is the chmod, one is cho. So we'll change the one is the user and the group, and also the file permissions for access, and also all those rights like for the users. And then pretty common, you will see the one is called the www dash data. This one is pretty common using for other application. It's a group for maybe some web applications and other service. So we are going to use it. This one is more like a practice, let you to see, okay, how can we work on some file permissions, access right? So you have kind of ideas, because all this we're going to use will be covered in our future lab and then in our lecture. Okay. So as our first lab exercise, then let you try. If you do have some problem, like difficulties, like installing the EC2, I believe the assignment is pretty easy. It's the first one, just like warm-up exercise. And but maybe you need to have some time to set up. If you need more time, just send me an email, let me know. So I will extend the submission deadline. Okay. Maybe what you need to submit is the PDF, the screenshot of like create the account. So once you finish that and then make the screenshot. More than that, actually, I have other application and also the files, but I want to, after you able to create the Ubuntu system, then we can keep on working on it. Okay. So as a first exercise, so far in this moment, do you have any question? Are you okay with it? But if you did work on the Ubuntu before, I think it's pretty easy to you. Okay. And I give you the time, then you can, either way it's okay. But if you want to try the AWS, then I will help you. Why not? Okay. And then for the later for the lecture part, we will go through more like it's just like some keywords like vocabulary we are using. So go through all the definitions, meanings. But I will keep this part maybe later. And one more part, for the, and then one more thing is about the class later, because I have some issue with my vehicle, so I need to like drop it to the body shop. Because I'm living 3 hours away, so I cannot really like commute to here. So I will doing the format will be change it to online before I pick up my car. So after repairing, so right now you see right here, I already set up the class, like the schedule right here, the Zoom. Even right now, actually doing the sharing and recording it. So if for some student, in case like you missed the class, you always like can go back to the Zoom, so you can watch it. Okay, in case you miss it. And I will share this part because for the YouTube, because in last semester I record all the videos, like for all my courses. Okay, so all the sections. Okay, so I think it's easier. Some students they just like prefer go to YouTube because you can switch. But most of them they're taking my courses like 3 or 4, so they can like just check all these. So either one of the option is okay. So if you're interested, you can also go to the last semester. So I also have all the videos like from previous. Maybe I will change the content a little bit. So, but it takes some time for me to upload to the YouTube. Okay, and because I'm doing it for all my courses, and then they do a limitation 10 videos per day. So sometimes I need to wait. So this is about the videos I'm recording, and if I change to so I don't know how long does it take to repair my car, and then I will send an email, give a notice, and I don't know. Yeah. So when I will switch it like to online, and then after I pay my car, then we can switch back to in person. Okay. And here's the situation. And all the labs and then something if we need to do, then I will record a video. And for the lecture part, I'll go through all the slides and make a video. So you can, I would like to ask because you're attending, so I want to know, I can fix the time so you can attend within this time exactly, like Tuesday and Thursday, or I can combine them just as a one video. So I can just like upload it. So I will change it to a schedule maybe on Saturday or Friday, then I'll upload it. So you can just check one of it. It's okay. So which way do you prefer? Or if you're flexible, I can do it as like this, like on Tuesday and Thursday. So same time, and then I will record it. And if you want to like attend as a live, then if you want to ask me question, well, I prefer more like interaction. So if you want to ask me question, then it's better. So I will do the same. So you can like attend as a live. So if you cannot attend it, then I will. Well, after the class, they will. I think Zoom will automatically upload to cloud, so you can watch it from the previous like meetings. So if you click on it, I think you're able to watch it. I think on the Tuesday, I think I need to. Okay, okay, so right here. So all this will be like recorded, so you can like go and click on it and watch it. Okay, so the thing is okay doing this method. Okay, so this one will be temporary when I cannot like commute to this campus. I don't know when, so just like wait for my update. So once it's able, then after I pick up my car, then we will switch back to in person. Or like you can give me feedback if you enjoy for the lecture part and then come back for the lab. Either way, so I will check your opinion. And right now I just give you the time and okay, show you. Okay. Okay, so I can why not this time because it's for the lab. So why now you can start to choose like let me know or I will help you. So if you want to stay on the AWS, so I'll guiding you how can you create give you show you how to do it, give you a guideline. If you want to stay on your VM, then you can work on your VM and then install the Ubuntu. Okay, next.
It's not too important. Is there a right there then?
No, it's an empty screen, so you need to do it. Yeah. So if on the VM, you need to download the Ubuntu iOS.
Yeah, I already have the like the VM. Oh, is there right? We also use Debian or is that?
No, really. If you have the Debian, you can stay on Debian. It's okay. Yeah, yeah. They are all flexible. All the guideline I gave you, you're not necessary. So okay. Let's say I show the examples Ubuntu, but if you say okay, I prefer Debian, then you can stay on Debian. Okay. Yeah.
Would you recommend us using AWS or would you recommend us downloading a VM to use?
If you don't have a trouble like critical issue to create the AWS, I would recommend you try to use the EC2 because I want to let you know like what's EC2 doing. If you want to be a software engineer, okay. So if you want to be a software engineer, because EC2 is the really popular and on the cloud platform. So we're going to use. So I wish you can have a chance to touch on it. Okay, know how it works. Okay, how to create a node and then create the Linux system on it, and how can you host it? Okay, maybe in the future you're going to use it, then you know how to set up the connection. Okay, yep.
And the architecture, do we be ARM64 or does that have to be x86?
64, yeah. 664, yes, yeah. Everything we working on the VM like Ubuntu is mainly is the command like create a directory access. The architecture is not really important, but nowadays we are stay on the 64. You know what's the difference? The difference about the architecture. So you will see the 86 it means like 32-bit, right? And then 64 would be double of it, of course. But what's representing? You know what's the meaning of like 86 and 64 for the architecture? Yeah.
This is more a personal question, but when I'm
Okay.
when I'm on the AWS, it always says create a new key pair or to proceed without one.
Create a new when you create the EC2, and also you need to create a new pair. But if you forgot to create it, then you need to delete the EC2, the node, the instance, and then to create a new one. Because when you create, then you need to come with the, let me see with the lab. Yes. Because I already own the account, so I just want to show you how to create. Second. Before in the previous semester, I just show you like everything how to use the EC2, and then how can we handle with the proxy server. That means like how the guys handle it. And but this time I will let you to set up the environment first, and then the next step will be next part. So if you're interested, I'll post my YouTube link so you can watch my previous semester too. And you can look at the example right here. So all this, like you will see the samples, like when we try to create the assets. So over here, we will see maybe how to get our update installation, and some try to allow the, mainly is the firewall. Okay, so we will touch a firewall is about the HTTPS and then HTTP. Okay, and then how can we allow the one is called Nginx. So Nginx, how can you allow the UFW? That means the firewall allow permission. Before I show it in my first lab, but I will do this in the next time after you finish the installation of your Ubuntu, or if you're using a Debian. Okay. Okay. In case because I already have it, so I can refer this web. You can see the instance right here. So based on the account, then you can choose the server location, and then you have the instance. You will see later you will know maybe in the networking, you know what's the IP address, and then we have the DNS. We can use the DNS to SSH connect to your server. If you're using your VM, then you have the virtual IP address. You need to access it, and then also how can we set the port for the access? So right here. Maybe if you're the first time working on the AWS EC2, sometimes you may be have some problem issue. I know because in the campus, I know sometimes they always refuse the connection or the connection timeout. Okay, it costs too long, takes too long. So that's why like from my previous experience, like most of the students just spend lots of time deal with the timeout problem connection issue. So that's why I make it more flexible. If you come to class, if you can work on the VM, maybe more stable. But if you are okay, able to connect to EC2, then you can stay on the EC2 environment. And on the top right corner, right here, instance states. If you want to stop your server, you can press the stop instance, reboot, or terminate. That means you can delete it. For AWS, it takes sometimes they won't like remove the instance immediately, and they will remove like maybe 1 hour later or slightly. So then you can, but in the same time, you can create another new instance. And then when you create a new instance, remember to set with the connection key. So how can you access it? So after you create instance, click on the connection. Remember, go to steps. It's called the SSH client. Here's the example. Is the siege mode. But they will validate when you using. Let's say you are using, if you're the Windows user, or if you're the Mac user, you have a terminal, or you can use other PowerShell, like anything like this. Okay, update. And when you connect to your server, they will, if you want to use the key, the key pair, then they will validate. Okay, if you don't set it to 400, that means read only. Then they will have an alert comes out. It pops out. Okay, it may be not secure enough. Okay, but if they for Windows system, what happened? Because for the Mac terminal, then you can use the CH mode to modify. Then for the Windows user, when you download the key pair, the PM, then you can right click and then go to property, and then you can set the. But I am not using the window. Let me see if I can access it. But this one is for my another courses, but I can show you. Okay. Okay, let's say if you have the file, and then if you want to change the access, you can right click and then go to the property. Property, right here, you can go to security, and then you have the user, right? Full control system, and then some user. So you can go to edit, or there's a one directly option. You can say go to read only. It's okay. So either way is okay. And mainly is that from the access, we have different type of groups and user. Okay. For the different users, you will see they're allowed to perform certain action or control. Sometimes you see like full control, modify, read, and execute, read, write. Okay. And then we have the special permission. Okay. In this moment, you just need to know, okay, those things that exist. Okay, what are they? And then in the lectures we have later, I'll show, okay, what's the meaning? What's the read only? What's the write? And then also how to represent those with the numbers. Like, so what's the, maybe sometimes if you look at the guideline, so okay, change the file permission to 760. So what's the meaning of 760? Okay. Or we will show it as the letters. Okay. So maybe dash, maybe X, and then with R, then what's the meaning? Or something. Some we have the special operation. Okay, all this I'm going to cover in the lab. But in this moment, so maybe I give you some guideline examples. You see, okay, when you follow, you may be curious. Then always like being curious what you're doing. Then later it will I will go to cover in the lecture. So okay, that's why we are doing this part. Okay, for the lecture, and that's what you need to do for your if you're using the Windows system. Just click on the journal and then choose the read only. Then you can change the file permission, and all the access will be the same. So if you create using an EC2, mainly you will base on this information to access to your server. Okay. And after you're able to access to your server, here's the key, the PM you download. So you change it, and then here's the order, right? So make sure after you change the access permission, then it will be read only for yourself. Okay. So we can validate. So far I will see. I will give you a time right now in this moment, then you can work on like create an account or how to set up connect to your EC2 or working on your VM in this lab time. Okay. And suppose if you complete all the settings, then you should able to get this page. So this page is that after you access it, instead of using a GUI, so everything working is on the server side. Okay, the server image as well. I say. So we are working on the command line. So when you release it, and then it shows what's your Ubuntu version, and then under the account. For AWS EC2, we are under the account Ubuntu. So here's the user account. Okay, and then the password is like what you default input. Okay, of course you can. For your first assignment, you need to do is like create one more user account and then create the another folder. Okay, and then more advanced is how can you, let's say, okay, if you create a new user account, then you are not allowed this user account to access the user Ubuntu. Okay, but you only allowed to access your own files. Okay, how can we set the permission? So here's like kind of like first step learning cybersecurity. Okay, so I will wonder it's the time for you to doing this, and I will help you if you have any problem.
I can't really account for AWS. It keeps.
Mhm.
It just.
Okay, okay. So do you want to working on the VM that part? Or
Yeah,
what's
so I mean, I'm running the VM.
Okay, okay,
So if I could get the VM version,
okay,
I keep getting this issue. There's something you want to request. I haven't done 5 more times.
okay, catch, okay.
I cleared it as well.
Okay, maybe try to do it at home in case of.
Okay.
This is what I realized, like even last semester, maybe lots of students like in the class, especially I know maybe the connection, Wi-Fi, blocking access, lots of issues. Okay, for this work. So maybe when you go back home, something like they're fine. Like if you're working at home or other environment, it's totally fine, stable.
Okay.
But when you come back here, they just spend the whole class on fixing the connection issue. So don't waste your time if you cannot access it. Then I would recommend like you can do it like both. Like if you working on the lab, if you come back here, you can stay on your VM. If you can work at home, then you can switch to the EC2. Okay.
Mine's more instead. So once we're inside the instance,
Okay.
so do we put that in? Or was this supposed to, or were we supposed to go back there and do something here?
Okay, you already connect to the Ubuntu one. That means you are fine. Okay, for the chmove 400. Okay, if you are confused with this step like chmove 400, so do you know what's this step doing, or like are we doing on a Ubuntu or are we doing locally? So this one we will do it because we download we call a certificate. Okay, because we're using the RSA, is the PM actually is the certificate for us to access to our Ubuntu server, right? Okay, and the traditional way is using your user account and password. How can we increase the security? So we're using we call the asymmetric method using encryption to encrypt our connection to the server side. Okay, and because we don't want to let others to access your certificate, so we change your local account. So if I have a certificate right here, so I change it locally. Okay, so that one's local, and we will use this certificate to access to our server. That's how it works. Do we catch it? Okay, and this is a good habit. Even you using a VM, I also it's a practice. So try to use access to your VM using the certificate. Try to create a key. If you're using an easy tool, because when you input the password to create the key pair, so they will save the key when you create the Ubuntu server. But if you're working on your VM, then you need to do it by your own. So you need to generate the key and then upload it to the VM server. Okay, so the VM Ubuntu server, and then you can create a path allow you to access. I didn't cover in this part, but at least let you to create. And at least I need to make sure everyone try to access using the key. Okay, instead of using the password. Okay. Okay, so right here. Okay, so we see what's HMO. So just to read the instruction right here. For the
Do I need to because simply mine's not actually called this, mine's called. Mine's
We're
actually.
using the you're using EC2 car connection, so you're on the web. Okay, so that's why I say you need to understand like all the steps. Okay, like kind of like learning, so you need to know how to read the instruction and guideline, or how to figure out what they're doing. Let's say why not you already connect to the server, and because you are not using the asset cache, you are using the database itself connection, so you do not need to input any information. So maybe you need to, let's say if you can use the PowerShell, And then you need to download key pin. Where's the key pin?
My key is kept right here. so
Okay, yes. And then did you change your file permission yet?
That's what I was about to do. I was on the property side.
And then we only, and also try to make it unlocked. Okay, so for Windows, so for the main files downloaded in Google is a virus, so they will make it unlocked. So we can apply it. Maybe you need to unlock it before you set it. And so you can unlock it first. Okay. Then you set the permission. So you see. This one's not. And after, right now, trying to using the PowerShell to connect to your AWS EC2 server. So how can we do that? Okay, go back to EC2, instance, and you click the instance, click on the instance ID, and then you will see the connect, right? So click this connect. So you see page one. So I think you just click the connect directly. So right now, what you need to do is using the SS client. So right here you see this one, because for Windows system you cannot change the permission to form. So you need to go to property and change it to read only. And the next is a statement of an SS page. And then and then here's a, so this one, when you copy in the directory, you need to remember either you need to put the address path or change your folder and then access it. So let's say you can open the PowerShell. One method is that you can change the directory to the where you download the files. Let's say you download it to the documents, right? Okay. Documents. Documents. So when now you should have files PM. Okay, you have the storage, right? Okay, then you go to the next directory. It's your here's your directory, and then you see your PM.
It's in another folder inside of their storage.
Okay, so you go to that directory and then you can use the command. Okay, so okay. You were working on the maybe, okay, so we're talking.
I just thought that one.
Okay. So, okay, okay. Okay, and then when you try to connect, one thing I want to see if you're able to using the SS kind, okay. And because when you're using the EC2, because this time I give you the option is I didn't sign up. I'm not using the. Well, I already closed the file. Hopefully, I can access it. And because when you on your instance, you can choose like connection. First one, the first option, you can using the web-based connection. So when you take the connection, so it will automatically help you connect to it. But when we using the key pair, that means that when you download the PEM file, so that one is the file type for the certificate. Then how can we use connect to your server using this certificate? Then you will see this example commands right here. Is using the SSH, and then I give you the path. Okay, so either you need to change your local directory. That means if I have the PM in certain locations, okay, then you have to change it. Okay, let's say I have the directory, then I need to change my file directory to here, and then I can execute the SSH like this. That's hyphen, and then with the PM. If here the example right here. Okay, let's say I put my files, the PM file under this directory. So I just ignore the right now which directory I am, maybe under the default directory. That I give the absolute path, and then with the user account, and then this is the DNS of my server. Okay. But if you don't change it, then you will get some issue, or like you couldn't find a PEN, the certificate files. Then you need to try to debug or figure out, okay, why you couldn't able to access it. So most of the problem is that, or the student is first time connect to the server. That's what you experience. You didn't put the correct directory for your files. Okay. So either you can use CD, change your directory, or just give you the if you're using the Windows system, so don't know how can you check what's the directory. Don't know how to do that. So you can have, if you are using the Windows on the top, or like you can drag the file, it will show the complete path. Or if you click on there's a bar, right? And then it shows the directory, so it will show the complete location. So you can copy that location. So either way is okay. So let's say I need to copy the files right here. For the Mac, if you are using the Apple user, it's pretty similar. So let's say so if let's say I need to change the directory, I can do it in this way, like drag the files. Then it's the complete files, like under user, my file names, documents, and then all the path. Okay, right here. Here's some just start up or knowing how to access the files. Let's see, can you put? So when okay, your access to your server, so you're good. Okay, that means you're correct. And if you want to refer on it, I start with the basic. But this part is not part of the server, but here's the command line you can use. So once called the sudo go is like get the admins right, access right. Like let's say for your Ubuntu account, you don't have the really root admin permission, so you can use a sudo. And apt is the package getting, so you can like call the update and sudo apt upgrade, and then with a parameter yes. So this one is like always we working on the server side. So I will recommend, because when you install the new complete image, maybe not yet some of the firmware they're not yet updated. So you can do it in this way. You can either break down this command line into two. So you can use doing this way, sudo apt update. So they'll fetch the package list, and then you can execute apt upgrade. Okay. And here's the parameter, -y or -y is for saying, okay, I will accept all the installation, saying yes. So you have two methods to taking. So here's the two. So here's the thing. So if you are able to access to the server, and then you can try to update your, try doing the update. If you can do like more like faster, able to compute everything, then just be ready, because later I will let you to install the Ubuntu, and then we got the. Because after you're able to access, then later the next step, you'll see one is called the UFW. So what's UFW is the firewall to allow the access. Okay. So later you'll hear what's the port. So do you know what's port? Okay. This term later in the vocabulary we talk about. So for all the service for the like internet, so even your computer, or if sometimes we talk about maybe some criminals, like digital criminals. So what are the backdoors? So hardware. So all those ports will be you're thinking it's just a door to let the service to access. Okay. Yep. So because you right here, you are the access to the access. So you don't have the access anymore, and then you don't have the key. Okay, so you don't have the access. Yeah, so actually when you're in this stage, you will be okay, yeah. Okay. So just like how to clear what you're doing, the PM, the certificate is the key, help you to recognize. That means the server. Well, right now I'm still not covered the lecture, so right now you get a rough idea. When you download a key, okay, for communication, let's say if I don't know, I will give my user account and password. So I give it to you, and then you validate by your server side. But if I have a but what's the issue, or like what's the potential risk if I only providing the user account and password? So what's the problem? What's the security issue? Why we not, like most of the time we are using password, like using user account and password to access or log in. Then why we introduce using a primary key or like the certificate to connect, or like I'm telling why we are using the certificate to sign.
Is it very unique?
Unique? Okay. Yeah, just guess. Yeah, okay. But that's the reason why we study cybersecurity. Okay.
It's easy to hack if you just want to use your password, no other extra security.
That means I can pretend. So if I'm able to get your user account and password, it will, like, let's say in this class, okay, if I ask you what's your password, okay, so if I know your server's IP address, then I know the default account is Ubuntu, right? So once I get your password, that means I can log into your server. So if we do have, we call the man in the middle, or like somebody want to attack a server, use your server to add within like crime or something, take some action, then it's so easy to access. But why now we change to using the certificate, the key? You're the only one on the certificate. That means like, okay, if I want to talk with you, so either using the user account password. So if everyone can get this, I can access. Okay. Okay, yeah. You can think it's more like wireless, but wireless idea is similar. There's I only recognize you. Okay. So it's like, okay. So if I have a certificate, that means that I just more likely is a key door. Okay. So is I only have the one only have the key. Okay. So I'm only one can open. Okay. If I need to access to your server, I need to steal your key. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So here's the idea. That's why in this step, I will recommend, or like for access in the lab, try to access using it. So it will increase the security level to access it. Because nowadays, we work on a lot on the cloud computing. Everything hosted on the cloud. Okay. So for study purpose, I let you to using a VM, but when you may be working as software engineer, so you will connect to a server all the time, maybe your team, everything hosted on the server. Okay. Those are commonly sharing like the ERP system, maybe the application, everything, or if you are hosting a website, everything on the cloud. Then maybe when you need to build a server, install all the application, set up all the service, then how can you make sure, or if you are the admin, how can you let a new user to access it? Okay, so you need to work on this part. Okay, so it's more secure instead of like sharing your user account and password to everyone. You never know, maybe today, maybe you are using the maybe Discord or any other communication software. But in case you lost your password or open the public, that means like some people outside the company can access your server. If you are the online store and then you share your admin password, your server admin, that means I can access your database, all these things. That's why as a first step, increase the security level using your key. Okay. So this one will be showing it. So this one is the notification. It won't cost you as a free time. So I think we'll want anyone, so you sign with the free one. Okay, this is good. For if you're using the AWS EC2, maybe every month they will send you a notice. So you will use up almost 95% or something. It's normal because it will just make sure you sign up with one is free version, with the low resources, limited RAM, CPU, storage. Okay. That one will be free. Okay. In case they really charge you, can connect the customer service, ask them to do the refund, and start with this part. So make sure everyone able to access to the server or like locally from your VM. Then next step is for the assignment part, you just need to create a new user, and then you can create any like test file, anything. It's flexible. Like at least I know you are like work on the Ubuntu Linux system before, then you should be fine. So you should be okay with this part. And just like show me, you know to handle the ownership. So here's the example right here. Let's say if I use the Simon, that means I change the access file permission. So 644, what's the meaning of 644? So
It's whether you can read, write, or execute.
mhm.
I do believe it is. I think read is for
Yes.
write is because write is 2 and execute is 1.
Yeah. So week 6 would be read and write, and then 4 would be read, and then 4 would also be read. This for user.
Yeah, so you're familiar. Okay. Okay. So do you know it, or like did you learn
I'm
from?
running on Debian, so I'm trying to get into it.
Oh, okay, so you know, okay, so okay, that's good. Okay, then I think it's pretty easy for later, no matter assignment of other labs. Okay, so of course we have some like special bit, some special bit. So we do cover in the exercise. Okay, but of this, like I give you some like practice, so in this moment, if you have no idea what you're doing, it's fine. Okay, but later maybe after a few lectures later, then you will know, okay, what you are doing, like all the commands, why you are using this. So what's the purpose? What's this number representing? So you have a better ideas. Okay. So so far, if you have no other questions, then feel free to leave. Okay. And just like complete, I already upload the first assignment. So on top, yes, you should able to see the first assignment available. Yes. Okay. So you can pretty easy. I give you all the sample. Of course, you're welcome if you are more familiar. You can make it more like high security, like SS, or like make it slightly more complicated, like you have different file type, a test file, maybe other files, and then maybe you can allow your bundle to access this file and another subdirectory. So you are welcome to do it. More like it's like practice. Okay, you can stay as a basic, so it's like complete all these tasks. Or if you are more familiar of all the like permissions stuff, access, then you're welcome to do that. And then make a screenshot like how do you create the files? Okay. And just like know more about system. So later it would be better So easier to know, okay, you know all the keywords from the lectures. So you better understand, okay, maybe what the reason of those, let's say, when we work on the parts, when we talk, what's the meaning? So instead of looking at the definition, okay, then you know what actually work, what's the parts doing, and then what the layers handling. Even later, what's the file permission? Okay, and so far will be for this lab. So it's just helping for your like set up the environment first. For later, we are going to use. If you have no other question, will be end of the class. Okay, and for the task like for probably for pretty sure for next week or coming 1 or 2 weeks. So we will host it as an online, so you can like take it online, and just wait for my update. Once I able to pick up my card, then we will change like switch back to in person. Okay. And if of course if you enjoy or if you have some way prefer, like we can, I'm open, so we can try to do it. Okay. Open for any advice. Okay. And that's it for today's class.